Hey everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather and welcome back to the 12 Cookies of Christmas. Today's cookie is a family favorite, but I didn't even know it was a family favorite until this year when we went to my grandmother's birthday party and my aunt made them. What are they? They are fruit cocktail cookies. What is a fruit cocktail cookie? Let me tell you that when I heard she was making these, I was like, that sounds weird. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they would be really, I don't think I'd like them. But they ended up being so warm and delicious and a perfect fall treat. I was like, this is going in our 12 Cookies of Christmas, because I am sure someone knows this vintage recipe and will want to make them and have some nostalgic memories. So if you're ready for this adventure, let's get started. What you're gonna need is 1 can of fruit cocktail, drained, 3 cups of brown sugar, half of a cup of regular sugar, 1 cup of shortening, 3 eggs, 4 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now for this recipe, we are going to want to preheat our oven to 375. And now we're going to get all of our sugars into our stand mixer and get it broken up. So we have 3 cups of the brown sugar and 1 cup of the white sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and start that to get it broken up. I just have it on the half speed. Next, we are going to put in our 1 whole cup of shortening. If you've never made cookies or anything with shortening, now's your time. These are vintage recipes, so of course they're gonna have shortening in them. There we go. Okay, and we're gonna turn this on medium and let it beat until it is light and smooth. Probably will take about 2-3 minutes. And while that's going, I'm just gonna put my eggs inside my bowl here. Okay, now we're gonna add the eggs in one at a time, beating well after each addition. Now it's looking a lot more creamy. That looks fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a scrape down though, and just make sure that all of the shortening is incorporated nicely. What a difference it makes to adjust my paddle. I know I've said that a couple times in these videos, but if you have a KitchenAid and your paddle doesn't quite scrape the sides, adjust it right here. We will give that a little mixy mix again. Okay, and while that's mixing, let's go ahead and mix together our flour ingredients. So I have my 4 cups of flour, my cinnamon, my cloves, my salt, my baking soda, and my baking powder. Let's go ahead and stop that, and we're just going to give it a good mix. And now we're gonna take our large can of fruit cocktail, and it needs to be drained, and we're gonna dump it in. For real, that's the recipe. Gonna give this a good mix. I know, it's a weird recipe. Like I said, when she said she was making fruit cocktail cookies, I thought she was, honestly, I couldn't imagine that this is actually what we were gonna be doing, but indeed, it was. Right, now we're gonna roll up our sleeves, and we are going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. I'm gonna add like a third, and then I'll add a third, and then I'll add a third. It's a pretty wet mixture, so it's pretty easy to stir. I don't think I'm supposed to do it with the mixer. Oh, it smells. It smells like my grandmother's house. You know, that clovey kind of happy Christmas smell. Oh yeah, looking good. All right, so what I'm noticing is that it is pretty difficult to stir, and some of the places are easier because they have less flour, so I really want to make sure I get the flour pushed through the whole thing. Let's scrape the side. All right, Auntie Kim, how am I doing? Is this how you make them? Let me know. You guys might remember Kim not last year, but a couple of years ago, she did that Waldorf salad. No, Waldorf salad? Broccoli salad. That's what it was. Another family favorite. Okay, so this is a very wet and sticky dough. So if you have a scoop of any kind, it would be good to use it now. Do I have a scoop? No, I do not. So how am I gonna do this? I haven't decided yet. I know I'm in the middle of a video, but I still haven't decided. But I am going to get my parchment, make sure it's pushed down into the corners, and a good way to make sure that this parchment is down in there is to crinkle it a little bit, because then it kind of sits down inside of its home there. Perfect, see? Okay, let me think. I do have 1/8 of a cup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a scoop of this. Ooh, 1/8 of a cup might be too small. Maybe that's right. Okay, we're gonna try it. 1/8 of a cup size cookies going down. Wow, if I'm doing 1/8 of a cup size cookies, this is gonna make a lot of cookies. That's fine. I don't know how much they're gonna spread either, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep them small to start with. And then once we have seen how much they spread, I don't remember them spreading much. I almost feel like I should probably refrigerate this dough too, but the directions do not say that. So maybe what I'll do is I'll cook this first batch using the exact directions, and then maybe I will refrigerate some of the dough and see if that changes the way that they cook. How does that sound? It's so weird seeing peaches inside of my cookie and grapes. Like literally there are grapes inside these cookies. It's weird. I know, it's weird. All right, into a preheated 375-degree oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, the first ones are out and they look fantastic. They look exactly like my aunt's cookies. So I did do a couple in the air fryer and they actually turned out pretty good. I feel like the ones in the air fryer actually puffed up a lot more than the ones in the oven, which maybe because they cooked a little bit faster, but they didn't take nearly as long as these guys. These guys took probably about 15 minutes in the oven, whereas these ones were like 11, 12. So I thought I would break into one and show you what they look like on the inside. You ready for this? First of all, they are so craggy. So see all the fruit cocktail inside? That makes them definitely like a cool looking cookie, especially these guys with the cherries. I would almost venture to say, get some cherries, some extra cherries, and put cherries along the top because I think that looks beautiful. But we'll break into the one that doesn't have a cherry because I want those ones for the picture. Okay, so let's break into them. Ooh, oh, because of all of the sugar in them, they are very chewy. And look at, they're very cakey as well. Nice. But what, pray thee, do they taste like? Delicious. Oh, it tastes like my aunt's cookies, my grandma's cookies, really. The bottoms are nice and crispy because of all that sugar, but the inside is fluffy. And it's weird because the fruit on the inside makes the cookie moist, but it's not like slimy moist or anything. It's actually really good. This is a really fun cookie. When you get pieces of that pineapple though, it's a little shocking because, you know, pineapple in a cookie, you're like, whoa, what was that? They're actually pretty darn good. But you don't have to believe me, you should make some. My aunt said, make sure you drain your fruit cocktail really, really well so that you don't have sloppy cookies. But, these are delicious. Maybe you should try them. Okay, you guys, well, if you enjoyed that video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and come back for the last day of the 12 cookies of Christmas. What cookie will it be? I can tell you it's gonna be another vintage one. I'm so excited about it, so I hope you will tune in. See you on the next adventure. Bye. I'm gonna eat the whole cookie. Do you know how many cookies I've eaten? A lot of cookies.